Hello again, everyone. Edwin Learnard back once again. In this YouTube astrological segment, I'm going to be talking about astrology, the coronavirus, and Novak Djokovic. Many of you may have heard Novak Djokovic. He's a renowned tennis player. He had recently contracted COVID-19, aka the coronavirus. My prayers go out to him and that he makes a safe recovery and makes rapid progress and recuperation in this. Just shows you again, not to be overly redundant with this, but nobody is impervious or invincible to this. It doesn't matter how athletic you are, what kind of shape you're in. It could affect people, anybody, no matter what athletic condition you're in, or your physical health, your stature, really just about anybody. The blood type of blood people, it's something that you'd have to confirm and look up. But what I saw in one source on the internet was even the type O people could still get it. I heard from another source that that type O people would not could get it, but they wouldn't exhibit symptoms. So that's something I'm not sure, but I would say at least majority of people do have a possibility of getting it. There might be a very low exception of it, or at least exhibiting, or at least having symptoms that they do get it. But anyway, that's something you could look up and confirm, because I honestly don't know those details 100%. Now, the thing about it is that when we looking at his chart, I could see as far as his natal placements and transits as to reasons why he may have had a little greater propensity toward getting it than the average person. First off, in his natal chart, he does have Neptune. It's in his 12th house. It's conjunct his ascendant, and of course Neptune can be connected with diseases, and having it by your ascendant, of course, that could be something that you could get that would affect, of course, the physical body. If you have in your chart, if you have, say, Neptune on your ascendant, on your sun, if it's conjunct your Mars, there could be greater propensity for physical issues connected with diseases. Neptune, of course, is associated with diseases. Now, he also has Pluto and Scorpio conjunct his midheaven. Now, I understand that's not midheaven, has nothing to do with us physically, but it's not surprising that something that came out very publicly, that was stated that he did have the coronavirus, and Pluto, of course, can be associated with viruses. Now, some other things in his chart, his sun is in Gemini, and of course the sun can be connected with the physical body. The ascendant is really more strongly associated with the physical body, because it dominates the appearance and often physical issues, of course, as well. But the sun in Gemini could have a propensity for breathing issues, so it wouldn't be surprising if he hasn't exhibited some kind of respiratory breathing issues as of now, that he won't, that if he hasn't already, that he will at some point. He also has in his chart, Gemini is on the cusp of the 6th house. Now, Gemini being on the 6th house, of course, can be connected with physical health issues, and Gemini again could be associated, as far as health issues go, health disorders, matters with breathing. So anyway, in some transits that he's having right now, and has transit Pluto, Jupiter, and Saturn in the 1st house of the physical body. When you're talking about transit Jupiter in Capricorn, well, as I've spoken about in previous videos, as many of you may know, that Jupiter could be very paradoxical, could be very strongly benign and benevolent, but it could also have a tendency to enlarge and expand, and it might be expanding limitations with the physical body, since Capricorn is the sign associated with limitations and restrictions. Transit Pluto in one's 1st house, that could be an indicator of getting some physical, some debilitation associated with a virus, because Pluto can be connected with viruses. When you have transit Saturn hitting the first house. There could be propensity to lose weight when that happens. And I don't, I mean, I see, I've heard people that would be getting this coronavirus, I believe, have been sweating profusely is one symptom. I would guess that losing weight could be another side effect of the coronavirus. So it wouldn't surprise me if he does lose some weight during this period if he hasn't already. This is and also too some other transits to take into consideration. Well, first off, I noticed that he did in his natal chart. He has Mars in Cancer in the first, in the sixth house of physical issues, and Mars could be connected with. I mean, Mars itself can be connected with issues with the vitality and the physical body. And when you're talking about the coronavirus, can sometimes can manifest in I called persistent cancer, tenacious pains that are in the chest. And of course, the zodiac sign Cancer is associated with the chest. Mars, I mean, you're talking about headaches as well. I believe headaches can be a side effect, a symptom that is connected with the coronavirus as well. He also at this time is transit Chiron in Aries very close to his natal north node. And you're talking about Chiron in Aries. Chiron in astrology is not just about emotional wounds and suffering. Sometimes it can manifest in physical ones as well. You're talking about Aries can be associated like with with fevers and headaches. So it wouldn't surprise me if he's getting some of those symptoms as well at this time. Also at this time, transit Venus is moving very close to, or I should say, it's very close to his natal Sun in Gemini. And Venus, of course, can be about throat. Venus rules the throat, and of course, a sore throat can come with the coronavirus. So that could be another issue he might be dealing with as well. And being in Gemini, I call it mercurial, maybe throat issues at this time. And also another thing I noticed too in his chart, that transit south node in Sagittarius is closing in on his natal Uranus. And you're talking about at this time Uranus and Sagittarius. When you have a transit like this could be in some cases, I mean, well, when you're talking about the south node in astrology, it's about often what we're going away from, what we're going to be going away from. And the fact that you're talking about Uranus and Sagittarius can sometimes can be in some cases for some people about groups or clubs or organizations that are sports related. And when you have the transit south node in Sagittarius closing in on that, well, guess what? It could indicate that somebody going away from that. That could be something now that he may be going away from a tennis organization. His competition in tennis is something that he likely will have to go away from for some time, given that he has contracted the coronavirus. So those are some things to look at that I noticed as far as his chart goes at this time. And also transit Sun in Cancer is also very close to his natal Mars in Cancer right now, and that could shine the light on some issues that could be Mars/Cancer related. I don't mean cancer, the disease. I'm talking about the zodiac sign Cancer. And of course, Mars again could be connected with headaches, with fevers, and of course that could be associated with the coronavirus. And also this transit Sun near his Mars and Cancer can of course be shining the light on physical issues related to the chest, like the persistent pain in the chest, which could be tied in to COVID-19, the coronavirus. So those are some things at this time I'm looking as far as this goes. And he also has the moon in Aries not far from transit Chiron and in his natal north node. So I believe this is something that this suffering that might be of a physical nature might be more of an emotional strain. You're talking about what could be very acerbic, acrimonious, angry Aries emotions that could be going on at this present time uh, for him. So anyway, there's really not much more I wanted to get into as far as this goes. Also, he does have Jupiter in the third, which of course could enlarge and expand breathing issues. Third house could be associated with the third house. The third house corresponds with Gemini. Anyway, in astrology. Anyway, people, that'll conclude this YouTube astrological segment. Until next time, people, Edwin Learnard saying stay well.